But it's Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll take a look at a new product from Thermaltake. This is the Thermaltake Smart BX3 power supply. This specific model is the 750 watt and it's an ATX 3.1 power supply. I really think this is actually going to be quite beneficial to a lot of our viewers. A lot of our viewers tend to be on the slightly more budget conscious side of the market, and you don't necessarily want something which is platinum rated and over 1000 watts. You just want something which is going to be reliable, got a decent warranty and doesn't cost an absolute fortune and runs your PC at pretty decent efficiency rates, of which this one does. Now, it is only a bronze rated power supply, but with bronze ratings that has changed things slightly. So now this supports ATX 3.1. Now, part of the ATX 3.1 is actually better efficiency. So this power supply has to maintain at least, I think it's 86% efficiency, even at 100% load-in. Not that you're likely to ever load this to 100% because, well, you might do with transient spikes, and that is actually another part of the ATX 3 and ATX 3.1 standards. This particular power supply will actually hold up with CPU power excursions of over 2 times the rated maximum, and when it comes to the GPU, this can handle up to 3 times the excursion limit for GPUs as well. So even if you've got one of those graphics cards which has those what they call transient spikes, this is going to cope with it pretty easily. And before we get into more of the specifications and do a little unboxing on this thing, let's talk about the pricing. Now, the actual estimated retail pricing of this when it comes out, which you'll find out when it's out from the links in the video description. I'll try and put a variety of links there so you can check out prices in your local region. But it actually does look like it's going to be somewhat of a winner. Now, in euros, the 550 is 55 euros, the 650 is 65 euros, and the 750 is 75 euros. So if we take a kind of rough translation of what that can be, at the time of making this video, which is towards the middle of April 2024, we're looking at about £46 for the 550, around about £55 for the 650, and about £63 for the 750. If you look at it in dollars, you're looking around about $50 for the 550, $60 for the 650, and $65 for the 750. So actually, in terms of pricing for an ATX 3.1 power supply, that actually seems pretty decent. And also, there's a 5-year warranty on it, so it's happy days all round. Normally with most bronze power supplies these days, you're lucky if you get a year's warranty, maybe 2, sometimes at a push 3, but 5 years I think Thermaltake are actually putting their money where their mouth is and offering you a decent form of backup, even though this is a somewhat budget power supply. Now, some of you are probably balking at those prices a little bit anyway, because you're used to those really cheap power supplies that we all used to buy and love. Those days are gone, my friend. They are long gone. This is basically the kind of entry level now, around about that sort of £50 mark. That is what we're expecting to see, but not always with this level of specification. So let's take a quick look at the box, the packaging and the power supply itself and see what it's all about and go over some of the other specs. So looking at the front of the box, you can tell this is the Smart BX3, which is a cut down version effectively of the Smart BM3 range, which was the modular version. This is 80 plus bronze, this is a 750 non-modular power supply, so all the cables are captive. ATX 3.1 certified. Also, there's a built-in DC to DC design. You've also got low profile flat black cables. Also, this is using high quality 105C graded cap for the main input. And like I said before, you've got the 5-year warranty. In terms of dimensions, it's actually quite compact. So you're looking at 86mm high, 150mm wide, and 140mm deep. So this should fit in pretty much most ATX form factor cases very easily and have a little bit of room for stuffing the cables. On the back of the box goes over some of the key things we've already mentioned already, so I won't go too far into the features there. Also, it does show you the 80 plus bronze certified efficiency. Again, we have to be over a certain limit for the 80 plus bronze for ATX 3.1, so that's great to see that even at 100% load, it's over 80% efficient. We've also got the output specifications there, so we're looking at 110 watts combined for the 3.3 and 5 volt rails, and the 12 volt rail has got a whopping 750 watts on it, so that's 62.5 amps. So taking the power supply out of the box, as we have done here, we've got the power supply itself, we've got a user guide, and also you've got some accessories, so there's a bunch of cable ties, some screws to actually attach it to your case, and also you will receive the appropriate power plug for your region. This one was shipped in from Germany, so unfortunately I've got the German plug on mine, not a UK one, but you will get the one right for your particular region. So next, let's take a look at the power supply itself. So as I said, pretty compact, 140 by 150 by 86. So yeah, pretty nice. Also looks very nice as well. Something about Thermaltake power supplies, they really do take a little bit of pride in the presentation. So it's a really nice grille on there. We've got our Thermaltake logo. On the sides, we've got some stick-on badges there telling you what model it is. And depending if you're mounting this with the fan down or the fan up, you're going to have the right label on either side. So that's absolutely fine. On the back, you've just got a normal power switch and also your power input and also ventilation. There isn't a smart fan switch on this one. Doesn't need to be. It's actually integrated into the circuitry on the board. So there is a 120mm fluid dynamic bearing fan in here, which is effectively silent pretty much most of the time. When you get over to around about 40% or 40 degrees temperature, the fan will kick in. And at the moment, from what I can tell from my testing, it's pretty much silent. So if you're concerned that it's going to be a little bit noisy, no, it's going to be absolutely fine. You probably won't ever hear it. On the top of the power supply, got the usual label on there telling you all the specifications. So if you've ditched the box, then you can quickly refer to it to see what the deal is. So again, this is a 750 watt, 5-year warranty and bronze rated. So now let's take a look at the connectivity. So we've got our main 24-pin power connector, which is a solid block, always nice to see. And we've got some nice flexi cable in there. So depending how you're actually plugging this into your motherboard, you can have no problems there. That's absolutely great. And this one is 600 mils long and has a little bit of nice braiding on it. Next up, we've got our CPU or EPS connection. So you have got a single 8-pin, which is a molded 8-pin, and also there is another 4+4, making 2 8-pins. This one 650 mils long, and then you've got another 150 mil or so between the two, although realistically you don't need that because they normally live next to each other. But yeah, nice long cable, should reach the top of pretty much most ATX cases very easily and with a little bit to spare. Next, we've got our PCI Express connection. So this is a 6-pin or 8-pin. You've got this separation there, so you can just join that together to give you 8 pins. And actually there's 2 of them, although they are daisy chained, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. This is obviously a somewhat budget power supply, so you're not going to be trying to use this with a 4080 or something. That would be a little bit on the ridiculous side, but potentially you might want to, I don't know. Anyway, for more modest builds, I think that's going to be absolutely fine. Most of the time these days, you're going to be using probably just the single one anyway, but there is 2 there should you want to use it. Of course, if you want to, you can adapt some of the other Molex cables on here to give you a little bit of extra 12 volt. I think this is absolutely fine. This one, 500 mil, plus again, 150 between the 2 connectors. And last of all, we've got our accessory connectors. So these are 2 SATA plugs, and also there are 2 Molex. And there's 2 versions of this, 2 cables, so both exactly the same. So this one is 500 mil up to the first SATA plug, then an additional 150 mil between the first SATA and the second SATA, then 150 between the second SATA and the first Molex, and then another 150 between the first Molex and the second Molex. And like I said, that is doubled up on both cables. So let's look at the cabling and the power supply itself, and let's talk about some of the other features on this. So you've got 6 main features of this, which include overcurrent protection, over voltage protection, under voltage protection, over power protection, short circuit protection, and over temperature protection. And of course, like I've said numerous times already, this fully supports ATX 3.1, so you've got all the efficiencies with that as well. And also it's designed so that if you want to use it with some sort of DC device, such as your solar panels on your roof, maybe some kind of power pack, generator, UPS, that sort of thing, absolutely fine with that, no problems at all. And the switchover is absolutely seamless. The hold up time is much quicker as well, so enabling those much quicker turn offs and turn ons, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, I've rabbited on to way too much about this. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments section. Are you getting a little bit scared of how expensive power supplies are getting? Are you welcoming this kind of thing? So a high quality power supply with a 5-year warranty coming in at around about $50 or £50 or whatever it's going to be. This is pretty much the way the future is going to be. I'm actually glad to start stepping away from some of those kind of £30, £40 power supplies, which are sometimes a little bit on the sketchy side. Although, I'll be completely honest, I've never had any problems with them. Maybe the odd 1 or 2 that have just turned up and just didn't work at all. But I've never had magic smoke come out of them, so I guess that's a plus. And obviously with this being a little bit more expensive, bit better circuitry inside, and also a decent 105C cap, this should last the test of time, although it has got a 5-year warranty to back it up, should it not. So there you go, that's been the Thermaltake Smart BX3 power supply. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.